Hey there film fans, today I'm going to talk to you about The Girl on the Train, which is the new thriller out, smashing the box office, starring Emily Blunt. The book itself was a massive success. I believe it might have been the fastest selling fiction book ever, something crazy like that. And the box office has been really good for the first 5 days. I know it did really well. It obviously knocked Bridget Jones off top spot in the UK. So it looks like it's following the course of the book. I just want to say thanks very much to DCM for letting me come along to their special DCM Tuesday screening. I was gifted a delightful little train ticket holder that says The Girl on the Train on it and the first chapter of the book, I believe, as well as some wine, which is always good. But yeah, that was very nice of them to have me along. Thanks very much. I didn't really know much about this before seeing it, except for that I thought it was probably going to have a twist. And I always dislike going into a movie with that assumption, because then you kind of spend a lot of the film waiting for the twist to happen. The plot: Emily Blunt is a day-drinking divorcee with probably the worst eyeliner I've seen in a film in a long time, who likes to spy on her ex-husband and their new wife and baby, but also her old neighbour, who she doesn't really know much about, but she's fascinated by because she thinks she has a perfect life. It's kind of a three-part. There are three different narrators, and it's the woman that she's spying on, who quite soon goes missing, the new wife of her ex-husband, and her. Emily Blunt is like an unreliable narrator, except for that she's kind of not even that, because she's so blackout drunk a lot of the time she can't remember what she's done. An unreliable narrator is when people may or may not be telling the truth, but she doesn't know what she's telling because she doesn't remember herself. I do think Emily Blunt generally does a really good job with this part as well, because she's kind of normally cast as the doe-eyed, goody-goody kind of character, I feel. So it's nice to see her being a bit gritty and dirty. She portrays a drunk person very believably in certain ways, like her eyes and her face look quite swollen, but she has that blank stare, and the camera angles also help with that because they kind of move around to imply that she's stumbling. She's a sympathetic character in that she's had a really tough time of it with the divorce, but the drinking can kind of get a bit frustrating after a while, seeing it through this kind of bleary haze, and she does always just return to it, which I know is probably true to life, but if something so serious had happened, you kind of want them to snap out of it a little bit. She's not terribly likeable. She has some bunny boiler tendencies as well. My main problem was that I feel like the film felt it was cleverer than it was. When the twist does come, because yes, there is a twist, it's kind of like more of a as opposed to a oh. The girl that she kind of aspires to be like seems to spend every morning standing on her balcony and flipping her hair. Maybe that's through Emily Blunt's eyes and showing that she's kind of not a real person, because that's her perceived version of this girl, that she just stands on a balcony and flicks her hair about. But it's a bit distancing to the audience. It doesn't make it feel very real. And at the end of the day, it's basically another one of these films about a lot of people having sex with each other. The camera work is very grey, and there's occasionally these quite dodgy slow motion bits that are interspersed, and they make it kind of look a bit cheap. It's also kind of hard to keep up because there's a lot of time hopping, and unless you're really paying attention, it's hard for you to understand the order in which things are going on when it moves back to the present. The cinema I was in laughed at several points, which I think in a thriller is not really a good thing unless there's actually a joke. Also, towards the end, the pacing just seemed a bit off. It seemed to go a bit slowly, and overall it was quite a slow film. Yes, lots of comparisons to Gone Girl, but really Gone Girl was a much superior film, and from what I've heard, a superior book. The way that the trailer's cut does seem to encourage that comparison. It's obviously being fuelled off the back of the dark suburban thriller getting a revival. A girl goes missing, there's multiple female narrators. It feels as though it wants to remind you of that. What did you guys think though? Because it's doing really well in the box office. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.